In 1955, a woman named Ruth Stout wrote an organic gardening article that caused a minor scandal in the gardening world. She said she didn't weed in the traditional sense. She didn't turn her soil and hadn't done so in years. She was growing more food than she had before at a fraction of the effort. The secret, she said, was 8 inches of hay. Ruth Stout was in her late 60s when she developed her gardening method. She was 86 when she published her most famous book, the No Work Garden Book, and she was still gardening actively. She wasn't lazy, she was smart. She figured out what it took the gardening world decades to catch up with. If you set up your garden right at the beginning, it maintains itself quite well. You start working with your garden, not against it. That's the whole point of this video. Not tricks for the sake of tricks, but setups and strategies, some cheap, some free, that will help you reduce the amount of time that you're spending in your garden weeding and working for the rest of the season, every season.
I've talked about mulch in 2 previous videos, once for moisture retention in the watering video and once for weed suppression in the weeding video. I'm bringing it back here because it belongs in the hacks video too. The full picture of what mulch does is big. Ruth Stout's insight was this: if you keep a permanent 4 to 8 inch layer of organic mulch on your garden beds at all times, you eliminate the need to till. You dramatically reduce weeding. The soil holds moisture. You feed the soil as the mulch breaks down, and you keep the soil temperature stable through Zone 4's wild swings. That's 5 whole problems solved with one material, applied once per year. For Zone 4, instead of hay like Ruth used, because hay can introduce weed seeds, I use straw or no chemical grass clippings. In our climate, it breaks down fast. A local arborist or your municipality may have free wood chips available to add over the top of the straw. It's worth one phone call to find out. Apply your mulch 3 to 4 inches deep in spring. Refresh the top layer each year. As it breaks down, it feeds the soil below. You're not just saving labor, you're building soil while you work less. If Ruth Stout was still around, she'd tell you she figured this out in her 60s and wished she'd done it at 40. I'm telling you the same thing. In the watering video, I talked about how to stop carrying water. This hack takes that one step further. What if the water collected itself? A rain barrel sits under your downspout and catches the water that runs off your roof when it rains. A typical Zone 4 summer storm, even a modest one, can fill a 50-gallon barrel in under an hour. I have a friend who filled 40 huge barrels in an hour and a half on a horrible rain this spring. Here's the part that makes it a senior gardening hack specifically. You connect a soaker hose or drip line to the spigot at the bottom of the barrel, and gravity does the work. The water flows downhill from barrel to bed. You don't carry it. You don't drag a hose from the house. You open the spigot and walk away. It's not fast. Gravity watering is slow and steady, which is actually ideal for deep root watering, but it's free, it's passive, and once the barrel is in place, you barely think about it. One Zone 4 note: you need to drain and disconnect the barrel before hard frost. Most barrels will crack if they freeze full. Late September is the right time. A quick 5-minute job once a year. You want one with a child-safe lid, an overflow diverter, and a spigot placed low enough to actually connect a hose. Check all 3 before you buy. I'll have a rain barrel with spigot linked in the description. The RTS brand is my choice. I love the fact that it's recycled plastic and made in the USA. This hack is older than anything else in this series. Olla irrigation, Olla, looks like Olla, but pronounced Oya, dates back at least 4,000 years to ancient China and Persia. Farmers buried unglazed clay pots in the ground next to their crops, filled them with water, and the water seeped slowly through the porous clay directly into the root zone. The plants draw the water as they need it. Evaporation is nearly zero because the pot is underground. Weeds between plants stay dry because only the root zone is being watered. You fill it every 2 days. No daily watering. For a senior gardener, this is one of the most low-effort watering systems you can have. Once an Olla is buried next to a plant, that plant is darn close to watering itself. You can buy proper Olla pots online, or you can make a simple version by sealing the hole in the bottom of a small terracotta pot and burying it with a saucer on top as a lid. It's not quite as elegant, but it works on the same principle. This is a niche hack, not a whole garden solution. But for a few key plants in a raised bed, especially heat lovers like tomatoes and peppers, it really is impressive how well it works. Zone 4 means short season. Our last frost date in the Twin Cities area is usually mid-May or sometimes later. That means every week we can extend the growing season at either end is valuable. A cloche is a cover that protects young transplants from frost. The traditional French version was a glass bell jar. The Zone 4 budget version is a plastic milk jug with the bottom cut out. Put your transplants in a week or two before the typical last frost date. You cover each one with an upside-down milk jug. Cap off during the day for ventilation, cap on overnight if frost is forecast. The jug creates a small greenhouse effect, keeps the plant a few degrees warmer than the open air, and gets you an earlier start. It's free. You're going to drink the milk anyway. And in Zone 4, where every week matters, getting your tomatoes in 2 weeks earlier means 2 or more weeks of production before the first fall frost closes things down. It also means earlier BLTs, which is really important. Save your jugs through winter. They're the most useful free gardening tools I know of for our climate. Permanent mulch paths is a hack for the gardeners who have or want multiple beds, and it connects directly to what we'll cover in the next video about safer garden layout. The space between your raised beds, that path you walk through every single day, matters more than most people can imagine. And here's the thing about a grass path between beds. It needs mowing. It needs edging. It gets muddy after rain. It can be slippery. And after a season of walking on it, it compacts in ways that make it uneven and harder to navigate. A permanent wood chip path solves all of that. Lay landscape fabric first, then 6 inches of wood chips on top. It stays dry after rain. It's stable underfoot. Nothing grows through it. And when it starts to thin out in 2 or 3 years, you just top it up. For senior gardeners like me, the safety benefit, a stable, even, non-slippery path, is the most important part. I noticed that at almost 65, I'm tripping far more in that garden than I ever have before. Permanent mulch paths are where good garden layout starts. A wheelbarrow and an afternoon of hard physical labor. Then it's just there, doing its job, season after season. Isn't that what they made grandkids for anyway? Hack 6 is about avoiding a problem rather than fixing one. Here's what happens without succession planting. Your lettuce all matures in the same 2-week window. Your beans all come in at once. You're overwhelmed. You're scrambling to process or preserve everything, and then it's over, and that bed is sitting empty for the rest of the season. That crunch, the harvest glut, is exhausting, especially when it involves a lot of picking, washing, processing, and preserving all at the same time. Succession planting means instead of planting all your lettuce at once, you plant a small amount every 2 weeks. Instead of 20 lettuce plants maturing together, you have 5 maturing every 2 weeks from May through October. Steady harvest, no glut. My hack version for seniors: pick 2 or 3 crops and succession plant just those. You don't have to do this with everything. Lettuce, green beans, carrots, and radishes are 3 great crops to succession plant. They're also the crops that can produce an overwhelming harvest if you plant them all at once. Plant a little bit often, harvest a little often, replant. Number 7 is my last hack. This one takes the least effort of all. Every year, let one of your beds rest. Plant it with a cover crop. Crimson clover and winter rye are both excellent Zone 4 options, or just mulch it heavily and leave it alone. Don't harvest from it. Don't tend it. Let the soil biology do its work undisturbed for a full season. The following spring, that bed will have better soil structure than any bed you've been actively cultivating. The cover crop breaks down and feeds the soil. The earthworms have had a full season to work. You've reduced pest and disease pressure by breaking the cycle. And seniors like me have also officially given ourselves permission to do less. One less bed to weed, one less bed to water, one less bed to harvest, and all this while the soil gets better. Rotate which bed rests every year, and every few years, every bed in your garden has had a full restoration season. Ruth Stout would approve. None of these hacks is complicated. They just require setting things up thoughtfully at the start of the season so the rest of the season is easier. That's what Ruth Stout figured out at 65. It's what this whole series is built on.
Everything mentioned today is in the description below. I have the garden kneeler, which I love, and the rain barrel both linked there. In the next video, I'm going to talk about your garden layout, where you place things, where you rest, how wide the paths are. It may sound like interior decorating, but it's actually a very important aspect of your garden. Until next time, I'll be your senior gardening friend growing right here in Zone 4, dishing out, Until next time, I'll be your senior gardening friend growing right here in Zone 4. Until next time, I'll be your senior gardening friend growing right here in Zone 4, dishing out grandma hacks and tricks along the way. Let's get growing.